Are we the masters of our destiny, guided by reason and logic? Or are we unwitting puppets, driven by forces we barely understand? This is the age-old question that lies at the heart of today's discussion. In this video, we're diving deep into the minds of two of history's greatest philosophers, René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer. They saw the world and human nature through completely different lenses. Descartes believed in the power of reason as our guiding light, while Schopenhauer painted a darker picture, one where we're controlled by an insatiable will to live. Their ideas shaped not just philosophy but the way we approach life, relationships, and even our modern struggles with meaning and happiness. This isn't just a history lesson, it's a journey into your own mind and soul. By the end of this video, you'll gain fresh insights into how you think, feel, and make decisions in your everyday life. You'll also discover how to strike the delicate balance between reason and emotion, something we all struggle with. So, are you ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself? Stick around, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see your own life. Before we jump in, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on thought-provoking content like this. And if you're enjoying the journey so far, smash that like button to support the channel, it really helps us grow. You can also leave a comment to share your thoughts. And if you feel inspired, consider donating through Super Thanks to help keep this content alive and thriving. Now, let's dive into the fascinating worlds of Descartes and Schopenhauer. Are we defined by our thoughts, or are we prisoners of our desires? This question, both timeless and deeply personal, lies at the heart of understanding human nature. For centuries, philosophers have grappled with this dilemma, none more profoundly than René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer. Their contrasting philosophies reveal two sides of the human condition, one emphasizing the power of reason and the other delving into the raw, often chaotic force of desire. While their ideas were shaped in vastly different times and contexts, they remain remarkably relevant, offering insights into how we navigate the complexities of modern life, relationships, and self-awareness. René Descartes, often called the father of modern philosophy, proposed that the essence of human nature lies in rational thought. His famous declaration, cogito, ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, establishes the idea that our ability to think is the foundation of our existence. For Descartes, the mind is a realm of clarity and certainty, capable of understanding the world through reason. He believed in the existence of innate ideas, concepts like infinity or perfection that are hardwired into our minds, waiting to be uncovered through rational reflection. This emphasis on reason has had a profound influence on the way we approach knowledge and problem-solving today. Think about how we are taught to tackle challenges, analyze the situation, break it down logically, and seek solutions based on evidence and clear reasoning. This approach mirrors Descartes' method, where doubt is a tool for arriving at certainty. His ideas paved the way for scientific inquiry, technological advancements, and the structured ways we think about progress. However, the rationalist view of human nature has its limitations. While reason helps us understand the world, it often struggles to capture the messiness of human emotions and experiences. Life is rarely as straightforward as a mathematical equation. For example, consider the challenges of maintaining healthy relationships. Rational thought might tell us to communicate openly, compromise, and approach conflicts logically. Yet, emotions like jealousy, anger, or love frequently override our best intentions. Descartes' focus on the mind, while powerful, can feel disconnected from the deeper, more visceral aspects of being human. In stark contrast to Descartes, Arthur Schopenhauer offers a much darker, more emotional view of human nature. Schopenhauer believed that human beings are not primarily rational creatures, but are driven by a blind, insatiable will to live. This will is an unconscious force that compels us to survive, reproduce, and seek satisfaction, often at the expense of reason or long-term happiness. According to Schopenhauer, this relentless will is the source of all human suffering. We desire, we strive, and when we achieve what we want, the satisfaction is fleeting. Soon, we find ourselves craving something else, trapped in a cycle of endless longing and frustration. This perspective may sound bleak, but it resonates deeply with the struggles many people face today. Consider the example of consumerism. In modern society, we are constantly bombarded with advertisements promising happiness through material possessions: a new phone, a bigger house, a luxury vacation. We chase these desires, believing they will bring fulfillment. But once we acquire them, the satisfaction fades, and new desires take their place. Schopenhauer's philosophy sheds light on this cycle, reminding us that our will to live is not just about survival, but about an unending pursuit of something more. Schopenhauer also extends this idea to relationships. He argues that even love, which we often romanticize as pure and selfless, is rooted in the will to live. Romantic attraction, in his view, is nature's way of ensuring reproduction, not an expression of transcendent connection. This perspective challenges the idealized notions of love portrayed in movies or fairy tales, forcing us to confront the more primal motivations behind our actions. While Descartes and Schopenhauer appear to occupy opposite ends of the philosophical spectrum, one celebrating reason, the other lamenting desire, there are ways in which their ideas intersect. Both philosophers acknowledge that human nature is complex and fraught with challenges. Descartes' emphasis on doubt as a pathway to understanding mirrors Schopenhauer's call for self-awareness in recognizing the forces that drive us. Both encourage us to look inward, albeit for different reasons. Descartes to discover clarity and truth, Schopenhauer to uncover the roots of our suffering. Their contrasting perspectives also offer complementary insights. Descartes provides a framework for understanding and improving the external world through science and reason. His philosophy inspires innovation and progress, allowing us to address practical problems and expand our knowledge. Schopenhauer, on the other hand, focuses on the internal world of human experience, urging us to confront the emotional and existential aspects of life. Together, they remind us that a complete understanding of human nature requires balancing rationality with an acceptance of our deeper, less controllable impulses. For example, consider the challenge of making major life decisions, such as choosing a career or a life partner. A purely rational approach, inspired by Descartes, might involve listing pros and cons, analyzing long-term benefits, and seeking logical consistency. However, as Schopenhauer would argue, our desires, fears, and emotional connections often play a decisive role. A dream job might look perfect on paper, but if it doesn't align with our passions or values, it can leave us unfulfilled. Similarly, a relationship that seems ideal logically may falter if the emotional connection is missing. By integrating the insights of both philosophers, we can make decisions that honor both our rational and emotional selves. Schopenhauer's philosophy also offers a path to transcend the cycle of desire and suffering through art, contemplation, and renunciation. He believed that immersing ourselves in music, literature, or visual art allows us to step outside the will's relentless demands and experience a moment of peace. For instance, listening to a symphony or gazing at a beautiful painting can provide a temporary escape from the pressures of daily life, reminding us of the beauty and depth of existence. This idea resonates in a world where mindfulness practices, like meditation and yoga, are increasingly popular as ways to cope with stress and find inner balance. In comparing Descartes and Schopenhauer, we find not just two competing philosophies, but a richer understanding of ourselves. Descartes teaches us the power of critical thinking and the importance of questioning assumptions. Schopenhauer reminds us that life's struggles are an inherent part of being human and that acknowledging them is the first step toward finding peace. Their ideas, while centuries old, remain profoundly relevant as we navigate the challenges of modern life. From the pressures of achievement to the complexities of emotional fulfillment. Ultimately, the question of whether we are defined by our thoughts or driven by our desires does not have a simple answer. We are both rational and emotional beings, capable of incredible intellectual achievements, yet deeply influenced by the primal forces within us. By embracing the insights of both Descartes and Schopenhauer, we can strive for a more balanced, authentic understanding of what it means to be human. In this way, Their philosophies continue to shape not only how we think about the world, but how we live within it. René Descartes' famous declaration, "Cogito, ergo sum I think, therefore I am," stands as one of the most iconic statements in Western philosophy. It captures his fundamental belief that human existence is grounded in thought. For Descartes, this statement was not merely a philosophical abstraction, but a profound conclusion derived from his method of radical doubt. He questioned everything he could possibly doubt, from the reliability of the senses to the very existence of the physical world. In doing so, he arrived at a single undeniable truth. If he was doubting, then he must be thinking. And if he was thinking, then he must exist. This became the cornerstone of his rationalist philosophy, establishing the mind as the primary foundation of human nature. Descartes' philosophy centers on the idea that reason is the defining feature of humanity. Unlike animals, which he viewed as mechanistic beings driven by instinct, humans possess the ability to think critically, analyze, and solve complex problems. He believed that reason allowed individuals to transcend their immediate circumstances and uncover universal truths. This emphasis on rationality also extended to his theory of innate ideas, the belief that certain concepts, such as mathematical truths or the idea of God, are hardwired into the human mind. These ideas are not derived from experience, but exist within us from birth, waiting to be accessed through reason. The legacy of Descartes' rationalism is evident in the modern world, particularly in science and technology. His insistence on the power of critical thinking and systematic doubt laid the groundwork for the scientific method. For instance, when scientists test a hypothesis, they rely on empirical evidence and logical reasoning to draw conclusions. This process mirrors Descartes' approach to seeking certainty by eliminating doubt. Technological advancements, too, owe much to his legacy. From the development of computers to breakthroughs in medicine, rational thinking and structured analysis have driven progress. Consider how algorithms, essentially systems of logic, power everything from search engines to artificial intelligence. These innovations are modern embodiments of Descartes' faith in the power of reason to unlock the mysteries of the world. However, while Descartes' rationalist vision has undeniably shaped human progress, it is not without its limitations. One critique of his philosophy is that it tends to overlook the importance of emotions and subjective experience. While reason is a powerful tool, it does not account for the full spectrum of human existence. Emotions, intuitions, and personal experiences often play a significant role in shaping our decisions and understanding of the world. For example, consider the process of choosing a career. A purely rational approach might involve analyzing potential salaries, job stability, and long-term prospects. Yet many people ultimately choose careers based on passion or a sense of purpose, factors that cannot be fully captured through logic alone. This disconnect between rationalism and the emotional aspects of human life becomes even more evident in personal relationships. Rationality might suggest that open communication, compromise, and logical problem-solving are the keys to a successful relationship. While these elements are important, they do not account for the complexities of love, trust, and vulnerability. Emotions often defy reason, leading people to act in ways that may seem irrational but are deeply human. For instance, staying in a relationship despite challenges may not make sense from a purely logical perspective, yet it often stems from a profound emotional connection that cannot be quantified or explained. Another critique of Descartes' philosophy is that it risks creating a dualistic view of human nature, separating the mind and body into distinct entities. Descartes famously described the body as a machine and the mind as its pilot, suggesting that the two operate independently. While this dualism helped advance fields like medicine by encouraging a focus on the physical body, it also led to an undervaluing of the interconnectedness of mind and body. Modern neuroscience has shown that our thoughts, emotions, and physical health are deeply intertwined. For example, stress, a mental state, can manifest in physical symptoms like headaches or fatigue, demonstrating the limitations of a purely rationalist, dualistic framework. Despite these critiques, Descartes' philosophy continues to offer valuable insights. His emphasis on doubt as a tool for seeking truth remains a powerful principle. In an age of misinformation, the ability to question assumptions, evaluate evidence, and think critically is more important than ever. Additionally, his belief in the power of reason serves as a reminder of humanity's capacity for intellectual growth and problem-solving. While rationality alone may not provide a complete picture of human nature, it is an essential component of our ability to understand and navigate the world. Ultimately, Descartes' rationalist vision invites us to recognize the extraordinary potential of the human mind while acknowledging its limitations. By combining reason with an appreciation for the emotional and subjective dimensions of life, we can strive for a more holistic understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. His philosophy challenges us to think deeply, question boldly, and seek clarity in the face of uncertainty, an enduring legacy that continues to shape the way we approach life's most complex questions. Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy centers on the profound idea of the will to live, a concept that he describes as the blind, insatiable driving force behind all human actions. For Schopenhauer, this will is not a rational or conscious desire but an unconscious, instinctual energy that compels every living being to survive, reproduce, and continue striving, regardless of the consequences. Unlike the rational optimism of philosophers like Descartes, Schopenhauer viewed human existence as fundamentally rooted in this ceaseless will, which, rather than leading to fulfillment, traps individuals in an endless cycle of desire and suffering. At the heart of Schopenhauer's philosophy is his belief that life is marked by perpetual dissatisfaction. The will to live drives us to pursue desires, but even when those desires are achieved, the satisfaction they bring is fleeting. The moment we achieve one goal, another emerges, creating a cycle of longing, fulfillment, and frustration that never ends. Schopenhauer argued that this is an intrinsic part of human existence, an inescapable aspect of the human condition. He believed that the will operates without reason, pushing us toward goals that, in the grand scheme, do little to alleviate the suffering that defines our lives. This perspective becomes painfully clear when we examine the modern pursuit of success. Imagine a young professional who has been conditioned to believe that happiness lies in achieving certain milestones, earning a promotion, buying a dream house, or achieving social recognition. They spend years dedicating themselves to climbing the corporate ladder, sacrificing personal relationships, health, and leisure in the process. When they finally achieve the long-sought promotion, there is a brief sense of triumph, perhaps even euphoria, but soon after, the exhilaration fades, and they find themselves asking, "What's next?" The satisfaction of reaching the goal is overshadowed by a new desire, another promotion, a higher salary, or perhaps the realization that their achievements have not brought the lasting happiness they expected. This individual is a living example of Schopenhauer's cycle of desire, always striving, never at peace. Schopenhauer extended his philosophy to all aspects of life, including love and relationships. He argued that romantic attraction is not the result of conscious choice or genuine connection, but a manifestation of the will to live. According to him, love is nature's way of ensuring the continuation of the species, a biological impulse disguised as emotional connection. This view strips away the romantic idealism that often surrounds relationships, revealing a more primal, instinctual force at play. While this perspective might seem cynical, it provides a thought-provoking lens through which to view human behavior. For example, consider how people often fall in love with individuals who complement their genetic traits or fulfill subconscious desires for security and stability. These tendencies, Schopenhauer would argue, are not the product of rational decision-making but the unconscious workings of the will. Despite his pessimistic outlook, Schopenhauer did not leave humanity without hope. He believed that while the will to live is inescapable, there are moments when we can transcend its grip. One of his proposed remedies was aesthetic contemplation, the experience of losing oneself in art, music, or beauty. For Schopenhauer, engaging with art allows individuals to momentarily escape the demands of the will and experience a sense of peace and clarity. For instance, Listening to a symphony can transport someone beyond their immediate concerns, offering a glimpse of a world untouched by the ceaseless striving of the will. Similarly, a painting or a piece of literature can evoke a profound sense of connection and understanding, providing a respite from the chaos of everyday life. Another remedy Schopenhauer suggested was renunciation, a conscious rejection of the will's demands. This idea draws inspiration from Eastern philosophies, such as Buddhism, which advocate for detachment from worldly desires as a path to enlightenment. Schopenhauer admired the Buddhist practice of renouncing material possessions and selfish cravings, seeing it as a way to reduce suffering. While complete renunciation might seem extreme in the context of modern life, the principle of simplifying one's desires and focusing on inner peace resonates with contemporary movements like minimalism and mindfulness. Schopenhauer's philosophy, though undeniably dark, offers a compelling critique of the human condition. It forces us to confront the often uncomfortable truths about our motivations and the futility of our endless striving. At the same time, it provides a pathway for finding moments of peace and meaning, even within the constraints of the will. By recognizing the cycles of desire and frustration that shape our lives, we can begin to loosen their grip and seek fulfillment in experiences that transcend the will's relentless demands, whether through art, contemplation, or a conscious effort to simplify our desires. Schopenhauer's ideas encourage us to look beyond the surface of our lives and search for deeper, more enduring sources of contentment. René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer represent two vastly different ways of understanding human nature, each focusing on a distinct aspect of our existence. Descartes places the mind at the center of everything, insisting that rationality is the foundation of certainty and the defining feature of humanity. For him, reason is what separates humans from other animals, elevating us to beings capable of understanding, innovation, and self-awareness. On the other hand, Schopenhauer challenges this optimistic view, arguing that humans are fundamentally driven not by reason but by a blind, irrational force he calls the will to live. This will is the primal engine behind all our actions, desires, and decisions, often overriding rational thought and leading to endless cycles of striving and dissatisfaction. To compare their foundational beliefs, it's helpful to see them as addressing different layers of the human experience. Descartes emphasizes the intellectual domain, where logic, clarity, and certainty reign. His famous declaration, cogito, ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, underscores his belief that our ability to think is the most reliable proof of our existence. For Descartes, the mind operates like a finely tuned machine, capable of systematically analyzing the world and uncovering its truths. This focus on rationality laid the groundwork for scientific inquiry, mathematics, and technological advancement, fields that thrive on logical reasoning and structured thought. Schopenhauer, however, delves into the emotional and instinctual dimensions of human life, exposing the messy, chaotic undercurrents that rationality often fails to address. According to him, the will to live drives everything we do, from our basic survival instincts to our loftiest ambitions. Unlike Descartes' clear and orderly mind, Schopenhauer's will is unpredictable and unrelenting, pushing us to desire, strive, and suffer without a clear end. This force, he argues, makes life inherently tragic, as we are perpetually caught between longing for what we don't have and dissatisfaction with what we do. A useful way to think about their philosophies is through the analogy of rationality and emotion as two sides of the same coin. Rationality, represented by Descartes, is logical, deliberate, and methodical, like a carefully constructed blueprint. Emotion, as emphasized by Schopenhauer, is instinctual, passionate, and often chaotic, like the unpredictable weather that shapes the landscape. Both are essential to the human experience, but they operate in fundamentally different ways. Rationality seeks clarity and control, while emotion embraces the raw, unfiltered realities of life. Together, they form the dual forces that drive human behavior, each influencing the other in ways that are often subtle yet profound. Consider a decision as seemingly simple as buying a car. From Descartes' perspective, the process should be entirely rational. You would analyze fuel efficiency, safety ratings, maintenance costs, and resale value, arriving at a decision based on logic and evidence. But in reality, Schopenhauer's will to live often plays a significant role. Perhaps you choose a sleek, expensive sports car not because it's practical, but because it satisfies a deeper, more instinctual desire for status or excitement. This interplay between rational analysis and emotional impulse highlights how both Descartes and Schopenhauer offer valuable insights into human decision-making. Their opposing perspectives continue to resonate in philosophical debates because they address fundamental questions about what it means to be human. Descartes' rationalism aligns with the Enlightenment ideals that still shape much of Western thought, emphasizing reason, progress, and the pursuit of knowledge. In modern contexts, his ideas find echoes in the emphasis on STEM fields, data-driven decision-making, and the belief that human problems can be solved through technological innovation and logical thinking. For instance, when tackling issues like climate change or public health crises, policymakers often rely on scientific evidence and rational strategies to find solutions, embodying Descartes' confidence in the power of reason. At the same time, Schopenhauer's focus on the irrational and emotional aspects of life has gained renewed relevance in a world grappling with mental health challenges, existential anxiety, and the search for meaning. His philosophy speaks to the struggles of individuals who feel trapped in cycles of consumerism, social comparison, or unfulfilled ambition. For example, consider the rise of mindfulness and meditation practices, which aim to help people break free from the relentless striving of the will and find moments of peace. These practices echo Schopenhauer's suggestion that aesthetic contemplation and renunciation can offer relief from the suffering caused by the will. Another reason their perspectives remain relevant is that they capture the tension between two ways of understanding human behavior: as rational agents who make deliberate choices and as beings driven by unconscious forces. This tension is evident in fields like psychology, where cognitive behavioral theories focus on rational problem-solving while psychoanalytic approaches delve into the subconscious drives that shape our actions. It's also visible in everyday life, where people often struggle to reconcile their logical plans with their emotional desires. For example, someone might meticulously plan a healthy diet only to abandon it in the face of cravings for comfort food, illustrating the constant tug-of-war between reason and instinct. In the end, the philosophies of Descartes and Schopenhauer challenge us to reflect on the dual nature of human existence. Are we primarily rational beings, capable of transcending our circumstances through thought and logic? Or are we driven by deeper, more primal forces that shape our actions in ways we don't fully understand? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Descartes' rationalism reminds us of the incredible power of the human mind to solve problems, create knowledge, and imagine a better future. Schopenhauer's pessimism, meanwhile, forces us to confront the limitations of reason and acknowledge the emotional, instinctual side of life that often defies logic. By examining these two perspectives, we gain a more nuanced understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Rationality and emotion, order and chaos. The mind and the will, these dualities are not just abstract philosophical concepts, but integral parts of the human experience. Whether we lean more toward Descartes' optimism or Schopenhauer's realism, their ideas encourage us to embrace the complexity of our nature and strive for a balance that honors both sides of the coin. This balance, though difficult to achieve, may hold the key to living a life that is both thoughtful and deeply human. René Descartes' rationalism and Arthur Schopenhauer's focus on the will to live offer contrasting but deeply impactful ideas that continue to shape the way we understand and navigate our lives today. Descartes' rationalism has laid the foundation for scientific inquiry and intellectual progress, emphasizing the power of reason to uncover truths about the world. His insistence on systematic doubt and logical reasoning created a framework that propelled the Enlightenment and inspired the scientific revolution. In contrast, Schopenhauer's philosophy, which centers on the irrational, relentless force of the will to live, resonates with modern existential struggles, discussions on mental health, and the ongoing pursuit of meaning in a chaotic world. Together, these two perspectives reveal the complexity of human life, particularly in a society that constantly oscillates between rational decision-making and emotional fulfillment. Descartes' contributions to intellectual progress are profound and enduring. His method of radical doubt, in which he sought certainty by questioning all beliefs until he found something indubitable, was a revolutionary approach to knowledge. This method underpins much of the scientific inquiry we rely on today. For example, the scientific method, a cornerstone of modern science, echoes Descartes' systematic approach. Observe phenomena, formulate hypotheses, test them through experimentation, and draw conclusions based on evidence. By placing reason and evidence at the center of human understanding, Descartes created a paradigm that has driven countless breakthroughs, from medical advances to technological innovations. Consider the field of medicine, where Descartes' emphasis on the mind-body dualism played a significant role in advancing scientific understanding. His distinction between the mental and physical realms encouraged researchers to treat the body as a machine that could be studied and repaired. This perspective led to the development of modern anatomy, physiology, and countless life-saving treatments. Similarly, his rationalist approach influenced engineering, where logical problem-solving and mathematical principles have given rise to everything from skyscrapers to smartphones. Descartes' legacy is evident in the structured, logical way we approach challenges, whether it's designing a bridge or decoding the human genome. Yet, while Descartes' rationalism has driven progress, it also reveals its limitations when applied to the emotional and existential dimensions of life. This is where Schopenhauer's philosophy becomes particularly relevant. His idea of the will to live as an unconscious, insatiable force highlights the struggles many people face in their pursuit of meaning and happiness. In modern society, this manifests in the cycles of desire and dissatisfaction that define much of human behavior. People often believe that achieving specific milestones, whether it's financial success, professional advancement, or personal relationships, will bring lasting fulfillment. However, as Schopenhauer observed, these achievements rarely provide more than temporary relief before new desires take their place. The tension between rational decision-making and emotional needs is especially evident in career choices. Rationality suggests that we should choose careers based on logical criteria, job security, income potential, and opportunities for advancement. However, many individuals find themselves unfulfilled despite achieving these goals, as their deeper passions and values remain unaddressed. For instance, someone might excel in a high-paying corporate role but feel a persistent sense of emptiness because their work lacks meaning or fails to align with their personal interests. This disconnect between rational choices and emotional fulfillment illustrates the ongoing relevance of Schopenhauer's ideas. The will to live, with its endless cycle of striving, often leads people to chase external markers of success while neglecting their internal need for purpose. Schopenhauer's insights also resonate strongly in contemporary discussions about mental health. The relentless pursuit of goals, driven by societal expectations and the will to live, often leaves individuals feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or depressed. The modern obsession with productivity and achievement mirrors Schopenhauer's description of the human condition as one of perpetual dissatisfaction. Social media exacerbates this phenomenon, as people constantly compare themselves to curated versions of others' lives, fueling a sense of inadequacy and unfulfilled desire. Schopenhauer's philosophy provides a framework for understanding these struggles, reminding us that the root of much human suffering lies in our inability to escape the cycle of wanting and striving. At the same time, Schopenhauer offers a potential remedy: aesthetic contemplation and renunciation. He believed that art, music, and beauty could provide temporary relief from the demands of the will to live by allowing individuals to transcend their immediate desires and experience moments of pure, unselfish awareness. This idea finds modern relevance in practices like mindfulness and meditation, which encourage people to focus on the present moment and detach from their incessant striving. For example, listening to a piece of classical music or watching a sunset can create a sense of peace and perspective that momentarily frees us from the pressures of daily life. Similarly, the minimalist movement, which advocates for reducing material possessions and simplifying one's lifestyle, echoes Schopenhauer's call for renunciation as a way to reduce suffering and find contentment. The interplay between Descartes' rationalism and Schopenhauer's focus on the will highlights a fundamental tension in human life: the need to balance logic and reason with emotion and desire. In modern society, this tension is visible in almost every aspect of daily living. Education systems emphasize rational thinking and measurable outcomes, often at the expense of fostering creativity and emotional intelligence. Workplaces prioritize efficiency and productivity, leaving little room for employees to explore their passions or develop meaningful connections. Even personal relationships can be affected by this dichotomy, as people struggle to reconcile their logical expectations with their emotional experiences. Despite their differences, the ideas of Descartes and Schopenhauer are not mutually exclusive. Instead, they complement each other by addressing different facets of the human condition. Descartes' rationalism reminds us of the incredible power of the mind to solve problems, innovate, and improve the world. His philosophy encourages us to approach challenges systematically and seek solutions through reason and evidence. Meanwhile, Schopenhauer's emphasis on the irrational and emotional aspects of life forces us to confront the limitations of reason and acknowledge the deeper forces that drive us. His work serves as a reminder that fulfillment requires more than logical problem-solving. It demands an understanding of our emotional and existential needs. In today's complex and fast-paced world, these two perspectives offer valuable lessons. Descartes teaches us the importance of critical thinking and the pursuit of knowledge, tools that are essential for addressing global challenges like climate change, public health crises, and technological ethics. At the same time, Schopenhauer's insights encourage us to slow down, reflect on what truly matters, and seek balance in our lives. By integrating reason and emotion, logic and intuition, we can create a more holistic approach to understanding ourselves and the world around us. This integration is particularly important as society becomes increasingly driven by data and algorithms, which prioritize rationality and efficiency over human connection and well-being. While technology and science offer incredible opportunities for progress, they cannot address the deeper, existential questions that define human life. Schopenhauer's philosophy reminds us that no amount of technological advancement can eliminate the cycles of desire and dissatisfaction that lie at the heart of the human experience. It is only by embracing both the rational and emotional aspects of our nature that we can begin to navigate these challenges and find a sense of purpose and fulfillment. In the end, the interplay between Descartes and Schopenhauer's ideas reflects the complexity of being human. We are rational thinkers capable of great intellectual achievements, yet we are also emotional beings driven by desires that often defy logic. By understanding and integrating these perspectives, we can better navigate the challenges of modern life. Whether it's making career decisions, managing relationships, or searching for meaning in an uncertain world, their philosophies, though rooted in different eras, remain profoundly relevant, offering timeless insights into the human condition and the delicate balance between reason and emotion that defines our lives. René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer, despite their contrasting philosophical perspectives, converge on a shared acknowledgement of the inherent limitations of human nature. Both thinkers recognize that the human condition is fraught with challenges, complexities, and contradictions that cannot be entirely resolved. For Descartes, these limitations are tied to the imperfection of human reason and the ways our perceptions can deceive us. His philosophy encourages doubt and critical thinking as tools to uncover truth. Yet even he acknowledges that human knowledge is incomplete and fallible. Schopenhauer, on the other hand, sees human limitations through the lens of the will to live, a blind, insatiable force that drives us to perpetual striving and dissatisfaction. Together, their insights reveal that while humans possess remarkable intellectual capabilities, they are also deeply influenced by emotions, instincts, and desires. The recognition of these limitations points to the need for a more balanced view of human nature, one that integrates both reason and emotion. Descartes' rationalism highlights the power of logical thinking, problem-solving, and structured analysis, all of which are essential for understanding and navigating the external world. His emphasis on reason has laid the foundation for scientific inquiry, technological advancements, and intellectual progress. However, his approach often overlooks the emotional and subjective aspects of human experience, which play a critical role in shaping our decisions and sense of fulfillment. Schopenhauer fills this gap by focusing on the internal world of emotions, desires, and existential struggles. His philosophy underscores the importance of acknowledging and understanding these deeper forces, as they are integral to our lived experience. Integrating reason and emotion allows for a fuller understanding of ourselves and the complexities of life. Rational thinking provides clarity, structure, and direction, helping us navigate practical challenges and make informed decisions. Emotion, on the other hand, brings depth, empathy, and meaning to our experiences, allowing us to connect with others and find purpose. A balanced approach recognizes that neither reason nor emotion is sufficient on its own. Instead, they must work together to create a harmonious and holistic view of human nature. Consider the story of someone overcoming emotional turmoil through both rational thinking and emotional acceptance. Imagine a person going through a difficult breakup, struggling with feelings of sadness, anger, and rejection. At first, their emotions may feel overwhelming, leading them to question their self-worth and relive painful memories. Schopenhauer's philosophy would encourage them to confront these emotions, acknowledging the suffering as a natural part of the human experience. Instead of suppressing or denying their feelings, they might immerse themselves in activities that provide emotional release or solace, such as listening to music, journaling, or seeking support from friends. These actions reflect an acceptance of the emotional aspect of their pain, allowing them to process and move through it. At the same time, Descartes' rationalism offers tools for navigating the situation in a more constructive way. By engaging in logical reflection, the person can analyze the relationship objectively, identifying what worked, what didn't, and what lessons can be learned. This rational perspective can help them recognize patterns, set healthier boundaries for future relationships, and make decisions that align with their long-term well-being. For instance, they might realize that the breakup was necessary because the relationship was incompatible with their values or goals. By combining emotional acceptance with rational analysis, they can begin to heal and grow, emerging from the experience with greater self-awareness and resilience. This integration of reason and emotion is also evident in other areas of life, such as career choices and personal growth. Imagine a young professional facing a major decision about whether to stay in a stable but unfulfilling job or pursue a risky but passionate career path. A purely rational approach might focus on practical considerations like financial stability, job security, and career advancement. However, ignoring the emotional dimension such as the dissatisfaction and lack of motivation they feel in their current role could lead to burnout or regret. On the other hand, acting solely on emotion without considering the risks and challenges of a career change might result in unforeseen difficulties. A balanced approach involves acknowledging both the rational and emotional factors at play, weighing the pros and cons while staying attuned to personal values and aspirations. This balance is particularly relevant in the context of modern challenges, where people are often torn between societal expectations and their inner desires. For example, the pressure to achieve traditional markers of success such as wealth, status, or academic credentials often conflicts with the pursuit of personal happiness and fulfillment. Descartes' emphasis on rational planning and systematic thinking can help individuals set realistic goals and develop actionable strategies to achieve them. Meanwhile, Schopenhauer's insights into the cyclical nature of desire and the importance of finding intrinsic meaning can encourage people to prioritize what truly matters, such as relationships, creativity, or spiritual growth. In practice, this integration of reason and emotion can take many forms. It might involve combining logical problem solving with empathy and compassion when resolving conflicts in relationships. It could mean using mindfulness techniques to stay grounded in the present moment, while applying rational analysis to plan for the future. It might also entail recognizing when to let go of unattainable desires and focus on what brings genuine contentment, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a hobby, or contributing to a cause. By bridging the divide between Descartes and Schopenhauer's philosophies, we can create a more nuanced and dynamic understanding of human nature. Descartes reminds us of the incredible potential of the human mind to innovate, analyze, and solve problems, while Schopenhauer challenges us to confront the emotional and existential dimensions of life. Together, their ideas encourage us to embrace the complexity of our existence, acknowledging both our strengths and limitations. This balanced perspective not only enriches our understanding of ourselves, but also equips us to navigate the uncertainties and challenges of modern life with greater wisdom and compassion. The contrasting philosophies of René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer offer profound lessons that remain relevant in navigating the complexities of modern life. Descartes' rationalism underscores the importance of critical thinking, logical analysis, and clarity of mind. His method of systematic doubt encourages us to question assumptions, evaluate evidence, and seek certainty in a world filled with ambiguity. In contrast, Schopenhauer's philosophy delves into the emotional and existential dimensions of life, reminding us to accept its inherent struggles while finding solace in art, beauty, and spirituality. Together, their perspectives illuminate both the power of the human intellect and the depth of human emotion, offering a balanced framework for understanding ourselves and the challenges we face. Descartes' emphasis on rationality and critical thinking is a cornerstone of intellectual progress. His belief in the mind's ability to uncover truth through reason laid the groundwork for scientific inquiry, technological innovation, and systematic problem-solving. This approach remains indispensable in addressing modern challenges that require analytical thinking and evidence-based solutions. For example, in the context of climate change, Descartes' method serves as a reminder that progress begins with understanding the problem through empirical data and logical reasoning. By breaking down complex issues into smaller, manageable parts, we can develop actionable strategies that lead to meaningful outcomes. The application of Descartes' ideas extends beyond science and technology to personal decision-making. Imagine a student choosing a college major or a young professional contemplating a career change. Descartes' rationalism encourages them to approach these decisions systematically, researching options, weighing pros and cons, and considering long-term goals. For instance, someone deciding between a stable but uninspiring job and a riskier, passion-driven career might create a list of practical considerations, such as financial stability, job growth potential, and alignment with personal values. This logical framework provides clarity and structure, enabling individuals to make informed choices that align with their aspirations. However, Descartes' rationalism is not sufficient on its own, as it often overlooks the emotional and subjective aspects of human life. This is where Schopenhauer's philosophy becomes invaluable. His concept of the will to live highlights the relentless striving that characterizes human existence, often leading to cycles of desire, fulfillment, and dissatisfaction. Schopenhauer's perspective teaches us to accept these struggles as an intrinsic part of life rather than resisting or denying them. By acknowledging the inevitability of suffering, we can begin to shift our focus from chasing fleeting pleasures to seeking deeper, more enduring sources of meaning. One of Schopenhauer's most practical lessons is the value of finding solace in art, beauty, and spirituality. He believed that aesthetic experiences allow us to temporarily transcend the demands of the will, providing moments of peace and clarity. This idea resonates with modern practices like mindfulness, meditation, and creative expression, which offer relief from the pressures of daily life. For instance, someone overwhelmed by stress might find comfort in listening to music, reading a novel, or engaging in a creative hobby. These activities not only provide emotional release, but also help individuals reconnect with themselves on a deeper level. Schopenhauer's philosophy also emphasizes the importance of simplifying desires and focusing on what truly matters. In a world increasingly driven by consumerism and social comparison, His insights remind us that material possessions and external achievements often fail to bring lasting happiness. Instead, he encourages us to cultivate inner contentment through meaningful relationships, personal growth, and a sense of purpose. For example, someone who feels unfulfilled despite professional success might choose to prioritize quality time with loved ones, volunteer for a cause they care about, or explore a spiritual practice that resonates with them. These choices reflect a shift from external validation to internal fulfillment, aligning with Schopenhauer's vision of a more meaningful life. The integration of Descartes and Schopenhauer's philosophies offers a balanced approach to navigating modern challenges. Descartes teaches us the power of rational thinking and systematic problem-solving, tools that are essential for tackling practical issues like career decisions, financial planning, or addressing global crises. Meanwhile, Schopenhauer reminds us to embrace the emotional and existential dimensions of life, encouraging us to accept its struggles while seeking beauty, connection, and meaning. Together, their ideas provide a framework for living a thoughtful and fulfilling life, one that honors both the intellect and the heart. A practical takeaway from their combined philosophies is the importance of balancing logic with emotion in decision-making and daily living. For instance, consider someone facing a difficult relationship decision, such as whether to end a long-term partnership. A purely rational approach might involve listing reasons to stay or leave, analyzing compatibility, and projecting future outcomes. While this method provides clarity, it often fails to capture the emotional depth of the situation. Feelings of love, fear, guilt, or hope. Schopenhauer's insights encourage the individual to confront these emotions honestly, acknowledging the pain and uncertainty inherent in such decisions. By integrating rational analysis with emotional acceptance, they can arrive at a decision that feels both logical and authentic. Another example is the challenge of maintaining mental health in a fast-paced, high-pressure society. Descartes' emphasis on clarity of mind suggests the value of practices like journaling, goal-setting, and problem-solving to organize thoughts and reduce stress. At the same time, Schopenhauer's focus on the emotional aspects of life highlights the importance of self-compassion, connection, and finding joy in small moments. A balanced approach might involve combining structured routines with restorative activities like spending time in nature, practicing gratitude, or engaging in creative pursuits. This integration of reason and emotion creates a more holistic approach to well-being, addressing both practical needs and emotional fulfillment. Ultimately, the lessons from Descartes and Schopenhauer challenge us to embrace the complexity of the human experience. Descartes' rationalism inspires us to think critically, question assumptions, and approach challenges with clarity and confidence. Schopenhauer's philosophy, in contrast, invites us to confront life's struggles with humility, finding solace in art, beauty, and spirituality. By learning from both perspectives, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, navigating the uncertainties of modern life with wisdom, resilience, and compassion. Their ideas, though rooted in different eras, remain timeless in their relevance, offering enduring insights into the challenges and possibilities of being human. The question of whether we are rational beings striving for understanding or creatures driven by deeper forces beyond our control is one that strikes at the heart of the human experience. René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer offer two contrasting yet deeply insightful answers to this question. Descartes champions the power of the mind, asserting that reason and critical thinking are what elevate us, enabling us to uncover truth, solve problems, and navigate the complexities of the world. For him, human nature is defined by our ability to think logically, to question, and to analyze. Schopenhauer, however, takes a more sobering view, arguing that beneath the surface of our rational faculties lies the will to live, an irrational, insatiable force that drives much of our behavior. He reminds us that despite our intellectual capabilities, we are often at the mercy of desires, emotions, and instincts that dictate our actions in ways we cannot fully control. Reflecting on these two perspectives, it becomes clear that neither fully captures the entirety of what it means to be human. The reality is far more nuanced. Rationality is undoubtedly a defining feature of humanity. It has allowed us to achieve incredible feats, from technological advancements to the development of complex societies. Yet, no matter how advanced our reasoning becomes, we cannot escape the emotional and instinctual forces that shape our inner lives. These forces, as Schopenhauer suggests, often operate beyond our conscious awareness, influencing our relationships, decisions, and pursuits in profound ways. Consider, for instance, the experience of making a life-altering decision, such as choosing a career or ending a relationship. On the surface, rationality might appear to guide the process. We create lists of pros and cons, weigh the potential outcomes, and attempt to predict what will bring us the greatest benefit in the long term. Yet, in practice, these decisions are rarely as straightforward as they seem. Emotional factors, fear of change, attachment, passion, or even a vague sense of intuition often play an equally significant role. A person may stay in a stable job that feels unfulfilling out of fear of financial insecurity, or they may leave a long-term relationship despite its logical advantages because they crave a deeper emotional connection. These scenarios highlight the tension between reason and emotion, a dynamic that both Descartes and Schopenhauer capture in their own ways. This tension is also evident in the pursuit of happiness. Descartes' rationalism suggests that clarity of thought and logical problem-solving are key to achieving a fulfilling life. He would encourage us to examine our goals critically, discard false beliefs, and pursue paths that align with our reasoned understanding of the world. Schopenhauer, however, cautions against overestimating the power of rationality to deliver happiness. He argues that the will to live ensures we are perpetually caught in cycles of desire and dissatisfaction. Even when we achieve our goals, the satisfaction is fleeting, and new desires quickly take their place. His perspective forces us to confront the limits of reason and consider alternative sources of meaning, such as art, beauty, and spiritual exploration. The interplay between these two perspectives is particularly relevant in modern society, where people are constantly bombarded with expectations to optimize every aspect of their lives. Whether it's maximizing productivity, pursuing career success, or achieving personal happiness, the pressure to excel often leads individuals to rely heavily on rational planning and decision-making. Yet, as Schopenhauer would remind us, this relentless striving can become a source of suffering if it blinds us to the deeper, more emotional aspects of life. The pursuit of success, for instance, might leave someone feeling empty if it comes at the expense of meaningful relationships or personal passions. Conversely, an overemphasis on emotional fulfillment without rational grounding can lead to impulsive decisions and unanticipated consequences. To navigate this complex interplay, it is essential to recognize that reason and emotion are not opposing forces but complementary aspects of human nature. Rationality provides the structure and clarity needed to address practical challenges and achieve long-term goals, while emotion adds depth, meaning, and connection to our experiences. The journey of self-discovery involves learning to balance these two dimensions, understanding when to rely on logic and when to embrace the intuitive, emotional side of ourselves. This balance is not always easy to achieve, but it is essential for leading a fulfilling and authentic life. An example of this integration can be seen in the process of overcoming personal adversity. Imagine someone who has experienced a significant failure, such as the loss of a job or the breakdown of a relationship. Descartes' rationalism would encourage them to analyze the situation objectively, identifying what went wrong, what can be learned, and how to move forward. This logical approach can provide clarity and direction, helping them create a plan for rebuilding their life. At the same time, Schopenhauer's philosophy emphasizes the importance of confronting and processing the emotional pain that comes with such experiences. By allowing themselves to grieve, reflect, and seek solace in creative or spiritual pursuits, they can find deeper meaning and resilience. Together, these approaches create a more holistic path to healing, one that honors both the mind and the heart. Ultimately, the question of whether we are rational beings striving for understanding or creatures driven by deeper forces is not one that can be answered definitively. We are both, and our lives are shaped by the interplay between these dimensions. Descartes and Schopenhauer offer us valuable tools for understanding this complexity, the clarity of reason, and the acceptance of life's struggles. Their ideas remind us that to navigate the challenges of modern life, we must embrace the full spectrum of our humanity, balancing logic with emotion, striving with acceptance, and intellect with intuition. The journey of self-discovery is not about choosing one perspective over the other, but about integrating both to create a richer, more authentic understanding of ourselves and the world around us. And there you have it, the incredible, contrasting philosophies of René Descartes and Arthur Schopenhauer. Descartes, the eternal optimist of reason, showed us the power of critical thinking and how clarity of mind can help us solve life's greatest challenges. Schopenhauer, on the other hand, held up a mirror to the darker side of human existence, reminding us of the cycles of desire, suffering, and the need to find peace in art, beauty, and spirituality. But here's the real question. Where do you see yourself in their ideas? Are you more of a rationalist, believing in the triumph of reason? Or do you relate to Schopenhauer's view of life's emotional and existential struggles? There's no right answer, it's a personal journey. And perhaps the truth lies in finding balance between these two perspectives. If this video made you think differently about life or gave you new insights, don't forget to like this video and share it with friends who might enjoy this exploration into philosophy and human nature. Your support really makes a difference. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you'll never miss our deep dives into topics that matter. And hey, if you're feeling generous, consider donating through Super Thanks. It's a great way to support this channel and help us create more content like this for you. Let me know in the comments where you align Descartes, Schopenhauer, or somewhere in between. I'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation. Thank you for joining me on this journey through reason, emotion, and everything in between. Until next time, stay curious, stay reflective, and keep exploring the big questions in life. See you in the next video.